Hey everyone, Orange here. Welcome to Path to Decency episode 36. I am going to show you guys the summons that we are doing today on the screen, along with a list of topics that I will be discussing this episode. In case you want to listen to any particular topic or just skip straight to the summons, I will have the timestamps for you guys. One of the summons is a pretty big one. I did go ahead and purchase the Growth Pack 2 just like 5 minutes ago. I figure it's going to be worth it. I did make enough money off YouTube last month to afford it, so I kind of justify it that way. And the cost per crystal was 2.4 cents, and then we kind of have to factor in how much do the other things cost or whatever to make it more worth it. I think I'm going to kind of stick to packages that are cheap like that, but I'll have to keep you guys updated. Today I was in a good mood, so I was like, YOLO, so we'll have these summons to do at the end. I hope we can get something good. So that is that. One more quick thing before I start the episode. I have to give a thank you to some people who left me some suggestions last time on my last video. There were suggestions to help me improve my videos. They told me that I had 2 people comment, and they were saying that my speech was kind of weird because I started doing a lot of cuts in my videos, I'm sure you guys noticed, and I kind of strayed away from just talking normally and not doing too many cuts. So I'm going back to the old way where I have to not lose my train of thought, and I will try my best to talk normally, like a normal person. So I really have to thank you guys, though. I really appreciate the suggestions. They help me out a lot to make my videos better quality because I am here to serve you. That is my purpose. So if you guys find a problem with my video, then I will try to do something to fix it. And yeah, so thank you for the suggestions. I do honestly really appreciate it. So thank you guys. Here goes the episode. The first topic that I am going to be discussing is the biggest one of this week, and hopefully for a while, or probably for a while. I am building a new AO. I've been talking about this. This is what I've wanted to focus on. You guys know I'm very I try to be efficient and I'm progression focused, and this thing is the thing that I think I need to do to progress more. So right now my current goal is C3. I think that is doable, but we'll have to play around with it. Eventually it will happen, but I just have to build the team that I'm going to build that I'll discuss in a second, see how it goes, and then figure it out from there. You know, if something goes wrong or if something doesn't work out, then I will just have to problem solve and figure it out. First, we have to check this magic shop. It is refreshing on me in the middle of the video. Not really in the middle, just in the first part of the video. Okay, so the new AO that I'm building actually kind of came to me in a dream. Not really, but I did a summoning session a couple days ago. I'm gonna link it to you guys if you don't want spoilers. So I did 103 summons, and one of the polls I got in there pretty much kind of determines what I'm going to be building now. So I've probably given you ample time to pause this video if you don't want spoilers. So my main polls were a Chloe, a Wound Hack, a Julie, and I think that was it. So the big one in there is Chloe for me. So I am going to work on a slow Lushen team because I did pull Chloe. She is perfect for that. And since I only have one Lushen, the other monster I will be using is Katarina. I've kind of been doing a lot of research and stuff. I know there's plenty of variations of teams like that, but that is the one that I will build, and I'm going to see how it goes. It'll also translate very well into Guild Wars too, so I'm hoping that I will be able to use a variation of that in Guild Wars. My main AO, I think I went over this, but it's going to be Chloe, Kat, Lushen, Seek, and Katarina will be the leader. I think she has a resist lead or something like that. We can probably look it up here. I'll just forget about it. You guys can look it up if you want. I'm pretty sure she does. And Seek is there to take out any fire monsters that my other 2 monsters won't take out. I know there are some other variations. I could possibly use Julie in there, but I figure, let's just kind of go with a Lushen team and see how it goes. Of course, I am not the expert, so this advice that I'm giving you right now is just, I'm going to try it out. We'll see how it goes, and then I can keep you guys posted. I've heard good things about it. I was on Reddit. There are some really good threads regarding that team, and one guy was having good success with it. So I am confident in it. I know there's conflicting opinions on Katarina. Some people don't like her because she's too RNG based, but I think you just have to use her properly. So she may not be a thing that I can use against everything. I'll probably have to be picky with what I bring her against in Guild Wars. I'll just have to figure it out, I'll have to play with it myself, figure it out, and then get back to you guys. So there's some other things I wanted to talk about regarding that team. I have a list here. So right now, I don't think I talked about this, but my current AOs are a bit lacking, and I don't have a great AO, so I'm hoping this AO will be that good AO that I can use for the majority of my battles that'll clear quickly, because that's what the whole meta revolves around now, which is your AO clearing things quickly. My 2 AOs don't really do that, and there's some glaring faults with them. So sometimes I use kind of a bruiser AO like you see right here. That works, but during rush hour it ends up being too slow, so that is not good. The second AO that I use quite a bit is this speed team, and I really can't clear many things with it. So, not the majority of my lists. I kind of have to be picky, and against certain things that I think I can clear, sometimes I can't because of will runes. This team will run into that problem of facing will runes eventually, because will runes run rampant when you get, I think, up to like maybe C3, high C2. I'll see a lot of will runes there. So people have discovered that to get around will runes, you either bring a really slow team, I'll kind of go over these popular options, or you bring Lushens, because Lushens don't care about will runes because they already ignore defense, so you don't need a Galleon or anything like that. You guys probably know all of that. I don't need to go over it, but I will kind of briefly go over it. I'm not here to give you a lecture and say, this is exactly how it goes, and this is what's going on in G3, this is what's going on in G2. This is just what I've heard, and I'm just getting into doing arena, so we will have to see how my arena journey goes. Okay, I was going to go over the other team compositions, but I guess I'll hold those off to the end. This current team that I'm working on building, the Lushen cat team, will allow me to hold off on Necro for a little bit longer, and I think that's kind of a good thing. Eventually I will have to get into Necro, and I think other people would have different opinions on this. They might tell me, if I were you, I'd be in Necro right now because Necro runes are really good and you should start building up your runes, or they might have some sort of reasoning. But personally, I know that my Despair runes are very lacking, so we can go ahead and check out, like, I don't know, one of my Despair users or something. I feel like my Despair runes are lacking. I haven't upgraded them in a while, so I know my Giants runes are lacking, and if I get into Giants, I can farm options that will be usable for me on my current monsters, like my current Lushen and the Katarina that I'm working on fusing, and I will also start working on those runes to transition that team into an actual endgame team, because this team that I'm building right here, Chloe, Lushen, Cat, Seek, that is not an endgame team. It'll run into 2 main problems. The first problem is AoE buff removal, like strippers and stuff like that, Juno, Praha, that sort of thing. A lot of people have monsters like that the higher up you go in arena, and that team doesn't do well with those. Double Lushen works better because Katarina needs her shield up, When you get higher up, people build teams that specifically cannot be beaten with Double Lushen, because Double Lushen is a very popular and easy to obtain composition that a lot of people run because it's good. I will probably run into people like that and my team will not work, so I will have to build multiple offenses, which will happen. I'm sure you guys have seen players do arena, high-ranking players, and they have multiple offenses. So slowly but surely I will be building towards that, and right now is just another step. I'll have another offense in my pocket that I can, in my arsenal or whatever, that I can bring out, and that will beat things that my other 2 offenses, my speed team and my bruiser team, can't beat. The other positive with farming Giants still is that I will be also getting runes to keep my Bernard fast, because I want my Chloe to be very fast and my Bernard to be very fast. I think they'll be about 10 speed apart from each other, And if I'm still in Giants, I should be getting more runes like that, and that should help kind of even them out, because I do plan on using both, but that'll be something that I keep an eye on, and I'll have to determine which one I want to make better, pretty much based off of how things go and which one I need to be performing for me. I think they both will be decently fast, so I don't really have to worry too much about that. This month I did auto more of TOA hard than I expected, so that was good, and it makes me even more excited that I'll be in Giants farming runes, and I should get some upgrades on those monsters to make autoing TOA hard smoother, so that's an update that I will give you. It should be coming up here soon about the whole TOA hard autoing thing. I briefly touched on this, but I have seen that speed Lushens work very well at high-ranking arena, so I am looking to transition into that eventually. I think that's a really good option as long as they keep working. Bernard double Lushen Seek, so I will need to be obtaining another Lushen sometime in the future. I don't think I have runes to support that right now. I don't even know what type of runes I need for them to function or work well at my current rank, so it's kind of hard to say. Maybe I do have runes, but I don't think that is appropriate. I keep using the word appropriate, but I don't think that's the right word. I don't think that's a good thing to do right now, because I need to keep my fast runes on my Theomars, on my Lagmaron, because I rely on those monsters a lot, so that'll be something in the future that I'm kind of thinking about. Earlier in the episode, I was talking about how I wanted to focus on my arena stuff regardless, but the Chloe pull kind of just helped me along with a very clear decision. If I didn't pull Chloe, I had some other things that I was thinking about, but my research kind of got stopped short because I did pull the Chloe. If I didn't, I would have been doing more research and trying to figure out what I can do. I think I most likely would have worked on a Will Shield team at that point. I really don't know, though, because I told you guys my research kind of stopped there. And for Will Shield teams, the main problem that I was having was when you build those types of teams, people suggest that you have 2 AoE nukers of different elements so they can kind of make up for each other, you know? But with me, I don't have 2 AoE nukers. I don't have good choices for that. You guys know Summoner's War. When you play it, your monsters kind of determine what you build. So I don't have like a Zyros or anything. If I did, I would probably build Zyros and maybe Amir or something like that. I also wanted to look into seeing how the Homunculus worked out as an AoE damage dealer. I think the Fire one works like that. I think he would work well on a slow Shield Will team. I'm not sure though. I also have a Dark Assassin that I was kind of looking into building for Arena. But for now, I think the Chloe team with Lushen Cat Seek is the one to go with, because I won't have to use that many resources to get it running, and I think the payoff will be pretty good. I am getting ready to fuse Katarina here soon. I had already saved fusion mats for her, so it was really easy. I had all the fusion mats in my bank, and I just had to level them up. So right now, we can see I have my Beretta here, McKean's in storage. I'm almost ready to fuse Erang, the Wind, Nine-Tailed Fox, so I should have Katarina later today, and I will level her up. As far as skill ups go, I don't know if I will skill up Katarina or Lushen. I don't know how people skill up their Lushens, whether it's Devilmon or JoJo's. To me, fusing JoJo's makes more sense, because a lot of people agree that Devilmon are very, very precious, and I wouldn't want to give them up and put them on a Lushen. And I feel like fusing JoJo's won't take up that many resources, as long as I do it over kind of a long period of time, I think. That was just kind of a thought, so I will keep you guys posted as to whether I decide to fuse JoJo's for that or not. Moving on to the second topic, since I am fusing Cat, I have had to do some EXP boosters. We've also had the roulette event, so I have a couple of EXP boosters, only one left. I still have maybe 30 rolls to do, so I have been doing a couple of EXP boosters over the last week, and I wanted to give you guys 2 quick tips in case you didn't know about these tips. I'm sure you did, though. They're kind of common sense, but reps reset at midnight server time, so if you're going to be awake that late, you can pop your EXP booster and make sure it goes over that time. So you use your reps, the reps reset at midnight, and then you can use them again. So that's a quick tip to get more out of your EXP booster. Another kind of common sense thing is to make sure you have time. I'm currently doing an EXP booster right now because it's Saturday, I have time, I'm not really doing too much, so I would rather do it now than on a busy day, so that's kind of common sense. It's just another tip for you guys who I can kind of see people making the mistake of just wanting to do EXP boosters, but not really thinking if they have time or if they have the fodder to level up during it. Since I have so many boosters, I am not doing too many refills through them. If I only had one booster, I would probably do quite a bit of refills. I always kind of like to keep my fodder low. I am not the person who just spams dungeons and doesn't really make 6 stars. I've been keeping a good balance. Other people who may have different opinions on progression may suggest just to farm runes, but for me, I've liked to keep the fodder kind of down low. Those are all my EXP boosting tips. Let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. For the past 3 weeks, I've been doing a slightly different strategy to farm glory points. I'm sure this is a very common sense thing that many of you may do, but I pretty much buckled down and started doing it. It's worked for 2 out of the 3 weeks. One of the weeks, I think, was a little bit busier. The strategy will work for busy weeks, but you just have to be more on top of it. So it's pretty common sense, like I said. But what I've been doing is I've been changing my defense to hover around rank 8,000 or so. That way I stay Conqueror 2, because if you're, not Conqueror 2, Conqueror 1. If you're Conk, you get 5 glory points per win compared to Fighter. You can see right there, Conqueror 5, Fighter 4. So what I like to do is I like to be Conqueror, and I try to be low Conqueror, so my fights are easier. It's been working out well. Yeah, of course, if my teams get better, I won't have to stay such low Conqueror, but it helps out. You can see my victory rate has gone up. The past couple weeks, my victory rate has been kind of low. It was in the 80s. Now it's 93. I'm very proud of that. And it's because of my little strategy thing. So whenever I start dropping too low, I put up a 4-man defense and then climb back up and then drop it back down and that sort of thing. You guys get the whole drift there. So my defense rates will not accurately reflect what my actual defense rate is, because I've been switching up my defenses and making them a little bit weak. The important thing to note about this whole strategy here is Conqueror is worth it if you can keep above an 80% win rate. So if you're Fighter and you're getting a 100% win rate, Conqueror is still worth it as long as your win rate's above 80%. It's kind of basic math, but I will show you guys the chart if you want to check out the chart. You can do the same thing for Fighter versus Challenger, Challenger versus Beginner if you want to optimize your stuff a little bit more. It's just kind of a small tip. The next topic is the TOA hard autoing update. I told you guys I would keep you updated with how my TOA hard is going and my auto team is going. So if you guys are looking to build a team, you can kind of see how things pan out. And I have good news. This TOA hard clear and the last one went very smoothly for me. This time around, the only real problem I had was on 100, which I will discuss in a second. I autoed more than I thought I would be able to. I didn't write down exactly when I started autoing because I don't really know if it's worth it to write down exactly. It really depends on what the levels are, because sometimes you guys know how TOA works, the bosses move around, and sometimes the levels are harder in different areas, so sometimes TOA is just easy, but it has been easy for the past 2 months, so I will continue to keep you guys updated. I will be farming more runes, so I'm hoping that that pays off too. This was the main team that I used to auto most of TOA hard. Sometimes Arya would fail, and then I would throw in Vero in her place, and sometimes that would work out. Even if my team failed, I would throw them back in and see if they could beat the level if I gave them a second try, and sometimes that worked out. I've said this before, but I know I have a team that can auto most of TOA hard because I've looked on Reddit, and there are many Reddit threads. If you just go to Reddit and search for TOA hard auto or TOAH auto, many threads out there with people asking other people, hey, what's your team that you use to auto TOA hard? I have monsters that are on that list that work. I think it's just a rune quality thing. Like I said, my runes will be improving because I am farming giants, and I hope to continue to bring you guys good news. But like I said, TOA hard has gotten easier over time. My first clears were kind of a struggle, especially the month before my first clear where I got stuck on 92. But over time, with practice and improving my runes, things have gotten smoother. Let's go ahead and talk about 100. I struggled on this. I don't know why. I'm going to link you guys my runes for 100 down below if you guys want to check them out for any reason. And I am also going to have to look at them and compare them to my other clears of ath'taros and figure out what happened. He pretty much kicked my ass for like an hour and a half or two before I was able to pass him. The main problems are wave 1 and 2, and he is not a problem for me, but for my team, wave 1 and 2 are the real problems. I wanted to see if Swift TOAH would work out, but she didn't work out for me. Maybe for someone else she works out, but for me she didn't, so I had to put her back on Violent because I was watching the runs and I knew I needed to get some Violent procs to keep up with attack bar pushbacks. So I did that, and then I finally passed. I think I got really lucky, and that was honestly the reason why I passed both waves 1 and 2. So I'm not too worried about it. It did kind of keep me stuck for a little bit, but in the end, I passed it, so I'm not worried about it. The only time I really get worried is when I try something 100 times and it doesn't work, and then I finally say to myself, okay, we need to figure out what's going on. So I will have to check out those runes, but I'm really lazy, so maybe I won't. But yeah, that was pretty much the only struggle of TOA hard, but it's done. Those summons are in the other summoning video, which you guys can check out if you would like. Next topic, I'm going to update you guys on how Arena and Guild Wars went last week. Arena went pretty much the same as it's been going for a while. I got C2 with 1 refill. The week was pretty easy. I think I did the refill just to be sure that I would get C2. I finished ranked 2,353 with kind of a low victory rate. Oh my god, my victory rate's dropping. No. I hope to keep my victory rate up though. The defense rate does not reflect how my actual defense is going, so I might have to actually track that properly. For Guild Wars, we finished G1 again. I told you guys it's always, it's kind of been 50-50 for a while, so that kind of sucked, but that's how it was. For Rush Hour, for Arena, I started it at rank 4,000, and what I did was I just hit the guys that were highest on my list to climb back up to rank 3,000 within the hour, and then I did an extra refill just to be safe. Pretty uneventful, just how things have been going. Okay, the last topic, what I'm doing next week, and maybe anything I forgot. I forgot to mention I did build the Crystal Dragon. You guys can see here, I finally got enough materials for it. For some reason, the rocks or whatever weren't dropping for me, so I built it yesterday or today maybe, and if you do the math, it takes 166 days to break even, which is 5 months. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be playing in 5 months. It's like 5.3 months or something like that. So I figure it's worth it for me. It's just going to take some time for it to start paying off. I did rearrange my island. For those of you who don't know, I posted a video a really long time ago, one of my first videos that I did that talks about island sim. In StarCraft, that was a term where you put your buildings in optimal positions for efficiency, because I'm all about that efficiency. So what I did was I just pretty much organized things so I can get to everything that I need. I keep everything on this island that I need. I don't do anything fancy. Then I pretty much just threw everything over here. I'm almost done with the fusion thing because Katarina's my last fusion. I might be fusing some JoJo's like I told you guys. But that's why I put that over there, because I probably won't be using it very often. And then all these other things I use quite frequently, so that's why everything's on my main island. I will be doing the Katarina fusion today, like I said, and next week just probably making some 6 stars maybe and rune farming. I like to space out my EXP boosters, so slowly I will have made all of those 6 stars that I talked about. Seek, Cat, and possibly Chloe, and then this dude also needs to be 6-starred. I think that's about it. So that is all for this episode. Let's go ahead and do the summons. So here we go, guys. Here we go. 10 mystical scrolls. Let's go. More fodder. Lovely. Just what I wanted. An awakened thing that I don't need. No lightning on that. Here we go. 1 summon. No lightning. Okay, let's go ahead and start out with the Light and Darkness scrolls. First one, no lightning, but it could be something. Oh, what the hell? Amen! No, we don't need that. No. Ooh, nice. What's that? Drogon? That one can actually be okay, I think. Huh, okay. I'm kind of excited about that. I think the way he works is you have to kill him with a dot or something like that. I could be wrong, but yeah, so nice. Okay, here we go. The legendary scroll. Let's go! That was not worth it. That is it for Path to Decency episode 36. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave me any suggestions you have down below or any comments you would like to share with me. I love getting your guys' comments. Okay, so that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys later.